Okay, so this time I'm going to attempt to start the engine. So here's my fuel tank with 2 lines in, go into my fuel pump, all the lines going around. So the blue one is actually the high pressure, where normally it's be the low pressure, but that's the only line I had. This is just a shitty 10mm, which I had to realize all the pipes have to be 8mm, so that's why those 2 lines are reversed. So that's them coming up here to the top of the engine. So the top line is your high fuel in, or high pressure line in. Coming back down here, that's my key, ready to go. That comes into the red plug. The 3 white ones are all for engine management, and the yellow ones are just plugged in for good measure, and they're actually lights. So that's your negative, is the brown. Red over there in the top corner is your positive. Green is just plugged in for good measure. It's actually joining this blue wire, which connects to another blue plug, which actually goes to the ECU, but I don't think it's important. The next one is the top yellow, which has to be plugged in. And this was missing, this double red plug. You can see 4 pins on top, but underneath it there's actually just 2 pins. And what it does is it joins B30 or 30B to pin 30. So pin 30 has constant 12 volts, and if you have an immobilizer or alarm system, that's what those 2 pins would join together electronically somewhere outside in a separate ECU that controls your alarm system or your immobilizer. So this is 100% bypassed. That's all an immobilizer is. It's just an external switch somewhere else that's connected to a key with a chip in it, and then the reader has to read the chip and then turn on a relay or turn on something, which then sends power from 30 to 30B. So that's all that is. So it's basically, this is bypassing it. So this is the engine, and just to stop incredible noise or if there was any backfire, this is the pipe that's going out the back. So let's turn the key and see what happens. So, oh yeah, so this is my fuel pump here. Obviously these are the wires running down, just these ones here in the shadow. So there's 2 negatives, 2 positives. Don't know why, it probably just needed a higher ampage, and so they just use double wires just to pull the power. It should connect to M1 and M2. So M1 should be negative and M2 should be positive, and the ECU through relay 12 is able to turn on and off relay 12, which turns on and off M2, which turns obviously on and off the fuel pump. For some reason it's not working. Now, I don't know why. I've given up trying to figure out why. My initial thought was, like on the 16 valve, when you turn on the key to ignition on, the fuel pump should prime, then reach maximum pressure to stop priming, and only when you turn on the engine will it turn on again, as obviously the pressure would drop. I can't seem to figure out if I'm missing a wire, or is there something else gone askew, or is there ECU just giving trouble. But anyway, I have to plug them in. So I plug in the red top and the ground here. That's going to be my fuel pump, on and off. So you'll hear it turning on now in a second, and then I'm going to turn the key. Turning the key. Again. Booyah! It works! So obviously there's no radiator, so I can't leave the engine running forever, and I'm in the shed, so I don't want to die of CO2 poisoning. But that's the engine now working, so I can now proceed to next step, which is... Okay guys, so that was the engine running. There's loads of information out there, it's just a matter of finding it. And the other weird thing is, so this is my fuse board. So these are 2 yellow plugs, and trying to figure out what they were for. They're for see, there's a black plug there and a yellow one here, and they're both yellow wires, which I think one is black tracer, and therefore daytime running lights to put a resistor in line with your lights so that they kind of barely glow on. It was a weird thing, not required in Ireland. Red plug, what's it for? I googled it, tried to find it, found other entries, but they were always black plugs, couldn't find it. It's actually for, I followed the wires back, and one of them goes back to here, and I think it's to tell your dash that you have high beam on. I think that's all it does. So this one here, 3 wires again, 3 colors. Didn't know what they did, but I knew that purple white is speedo. So on your dash clocks, you have to either have analog or digital signal. So this is for a digital signal. So that's coming from your speedo over there somewhere. So sorry, your speedo comes in a blue white into your engine harness here, and from there it has to come back out in a different color and go somewhere else. So it actually goes from there then into your dash clocks. And what do the 2 other wires do? Well, on the early 90s cars, for the indicators on the dash, they just go, both arrows would just light up saying that you're indicating, but it wouldn't tell you which direction. So on later cars, they take a signal from one of these here, A12 and A24, I think. And that's what, where's it gone? This one here. That's what those 2 colors there are. They're just indicators. They show on your dash the direction you're indicating. So that's them. This grey and white single pin. That's all I have. I don't even have the plug. What does it do? I know that this one is for OBD2. It's for your diagnostics. Next one, don't need that. Don't need that. There's another one there somewhere. Oh yeah, these 2 little small ones. What do these do? So blue white is a signal wire, so it's obviously coming, this is for your speedo as well, but that tells the ECU how fast you're going. Don't know why exactly it needs to know how fast you're going, but it does. That's what blue white does. And what does yellow with a black tracer? And this is for, it's an auxiliary if you want to use it. And I'll come around this side, and that's the wire there. So I don't know what exactly it plugs into, but it plugs into something. So I think your black white is your positive, and then this, well, if you obviously close it or open it or you put a resistor into it, this wire here will then tell going back what that signal is. So here's a water temperature, so if it goes there, which you can, if you had a gauge on it, you'd tell you your value of your water. But this one here has a broken plug, don't know what it does. It has a single notch in the middle, but this one also has a single notch in the middle, coming down from the same loom. My question is that meant to fit there? What does this do? Or is that just a random plug that's just shoved into it? And if that goes in there, where does this go? I'd like just to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed and anyone that has sponsored me on PayPal. It absolutely means a lot because I'm really trying to push this project forward and keep the videos coming out. New video every Saturday, but thank you everyone for any help that you've given me so far. So guys, thanks very much for watching. It's been a major achievement getting that engine running. So hopefully in the next video we're going to get the engine out into the car and get that sorted. So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, support me on PayPal and the link below. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.